Well, howdy folks, Argsy here. We've just finished up one of Ant's famous harvest lunches and it was fantastic. And I just thought I'd stop and have a look on the way out here. Ant's a bit of a painter and look how realistic and lifelike these look. They're almost like pictures. She's a real talent actually. She loves going out on the farm and just sitting there and painting her time and just seeing what she sees in front of her. And yeah, it's pretty cool to see. But anyhow, like I said, we've just finished a fantastic lunch and we are heading back out to go and get the rest of the corn and the rest of the soybeans harvested. It was great to catch up with Aunt, it really was, and it was good to get to sit down with Uncle and Aunt and just have a bit of a chat to them about a few things, as we did. I shared a few of my ideas. I asked them about the shed. I said, what on earth happened there? I hope you didn't miss a payment or something like that, and they actually got swindled. They paid the $100,000 for the shed up front, which, you know, in hindsight's a mistake and obviously not something I'd be doing, but the guy put up the frames and then he ran. So they've been left here. I think they've been quoted something like 90 grand to finish it off. There's only been about 10 grand's worth of work done into it. So there's a lot still to be done and they don't have the money to do it at the moment. So we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with that. Apparently, last thing I heard, the guy was over Wyoming way up Elk Mountain. He'd ripped off a couple of miners and was chased out of town. I don't know what his name was, Ned or Jed or something like that. I don't know. Anyhow, no one's seen him since. And we had a chat about the land over here because I said, why don't we expand some of these fields? Well, it turns out this bit of land in here has been in the CRP program for a number of years, but it's actually just about due to come up. So there is every possibility we could get in here and plough this for next season. And it was something Uncle had planned anyhow. He did want to get in here and do it, but that's why it hasn't been mowed. Nothing's been taken off it. It has been CRP land. So we can get in here. There's only a few trees sort of scattered around that we could cut down and get rid of and actually make this quite a big size of land. I was having a look and there's about 60 acres in this block and there's only about 25 or 30 or so that's actually farmed. So yeah, some real opportunity here to increase the amount of land we have. But anyhow, we're going to go and jump up here into the combine, get things up and running. Here's the truck. We left it parked here next to the combine because we unloaded the last of the corn into it. Oh jeez, it's all the way down there. What on earth has happened? It's rolled through the field. You can see the tracks going down there through the field. It's gone through the corn, no doubt knocking over a whole lot and wrecking that. It's ended up in the soybean field. Alright, well, that's not exactly what I was expecting to come back to after lunch. Not only is there obviously an issue with the truck, I'm assuming the handbrake or something. Well, better double check the handbrake was put on and we didn't leave it off, but I'm assuming the handbrake's failed. Surely we wouldn't have left the handbrake on, off, parking it on the side of the hill, but yep, corn gone. That's no good. And soybeans squashed through in the other field, so what a great way to start things off. Just as we're talking about how much things are struggling, we can't go and lose crop. It's only a small amount, but we really can't be going and losing this behind. Alright, well, I'll go and recover this, get Uncle set up in the combine, and he's going to make a start. Obviously in the corn, we've got the corn header on, but we're hoping to get both these fields knocked out this afternoon. So that is the plan, then we'll be finished with harvest, and we can start talking about some of these other things we're going to do. But anyhow, let's go and get this out, let's see what happened. Well, handbrake was definitely left on. It wasn't left in gear though, and that might have been a mistake. If we'd left it in gear, it probably wouldn't have gone anywhere near as far as it had. In fact, it probably wouldn't have rolled at all, but we'll learn for next time. But we'll have to get that handbrake looked at. Ideally, we'll be looking at getting this truck replaced. But anyhow, we're going to back our way out of here, try not to squash any more crop on the way out, and we'll see you. We'll get back up into the field, get out of here, and we'll go and get started on the corn. Alright, there we are. We've extracted ourselves from that tricky little situation. Hopefully, without having destroyed any more of our crop. Our precious, precious crop. Uncle's got the combine down here, and he has made a bit of a start. I'm just wondering what he's paused for. I wonder if he's going to let us do the combining again, and he wants to run the grain cart, or grain truck. It's not a cart, is it? So we'll go and have a chat to him and we'll see what the plan is. Well, that's exactly what the deal was. He figured, seeing he did that other cornfield, give us the chance here to sort of familiarise ourselves a little bit more with the farm, with the layout of some of these fields. He said, get in there, you have a go there with the combine, see what it's like in corn, see what you think of it, and get this field done. So we will carry on, see how far we get around. I don't know, what are we going to be, already 8% full, so we'll have to see how far we're going to get around the field, whether we get a full headland opened up or not before we have to unload, or exactly what the story is going to be. But it's nice to be in corn. It is very nice to be harvesting this, and it's nice to be in what is currently the biggest field on the farm. I've already got plans to merge this and that soybean field as well, though. It seems a bit silly to have a field that's completely blocked off by any other field, particularly if you're going to run a different crop in that's ready at different times, or that you might want to get in and harvest without any access to it. So it makes sense, particularly if we're going to make that other field up the top larger by taking on that CRP land and converting that into some arable land. So there's certainly some really good reasons to merge this and the other field together. But anyhow, lots to do, lots to think about. I've got some calculations I'm going to run while we're doing this. I've been giving some thought into the grain bin situation. I'm going to give a few merchants a call and see what sort of price we'd be getting if we were selling this at the best price rather than having to sell it now. So we'll find that information out. Then we'll do some quick maths on exactly, well, not exactly, it'll be quick maths, loose maths around what the potential we could have if we were to build some bins, and then whether the crop we have would pay off next year. So lots to consider, lots to do, but we're just going to carry on with this and we'll see when we're done a bit more. Alright, we've got ourselves another full combine here, and obviously the truck hasn't run off yet. Uncle's not slacking. We just weren't able to use courseplay in this field. It was picking up all 3 fields as one, so we weren't able to get the combine up and running on courseplay. And obviously I haven't set up any auto drive or anything like that for the map yet, so we weren't able to use auto drive, which has left us effectively doing double duties for the purposes of this. So we'll get this one run down. It's our second load obviously down to the sell point. 709 bushels in each, which is pretty good. Doesn't earn very much either, and obviously still incredibly frustrating with the tailgate and the tipping on this truck. But as someone mentioned, it's just a little bit of a opportunity for some roleplay to say that this truck isn't actually that good and fit for purpose, which is starting to appear it might not be. So that's something else we're going to have to look at, an opportunity to try and replace come next season. But while I've been in the combine, we've been spending a lot of time crunching some numbers, talking to people about pricing, about what we could sell our crops for come the best peak price for it. And well, I'm sure the results won't surprise you, but they were pretty surprising to me. So when we get back in the combine and carrying on in the field, I'll go through that with you. Probably not the best thing to do while you're driving a truck, so we'll go and get this all unloaded down at the sell point, and once we get back we'll run over the numbers. So we're back getting the combine unloaded again, and like I said, I have gone through and crunched a few numbers based on selling the crop at the best price possible. Now at the moment we're selling our soybeans for $21 or $22 or there or thereabouts, and the corn for about $9. Now the best price that I could get offered for soybeans was just under $44, which is pretty much double what we're earning at the moment, and exactly the same deal for corn. Currently, like I said, just under $9, and we can get almost $18 if we hold on to it and sell it at a peak price. So looking at what we've got, well, we've got $55,000 in the bank account. We could conceivably double that if we were selling the crop we've already sold, and we've got the rest of this field to go and the soybeans there as well. So before we started this field, we'd harvested about 26 acres, and we had 22 or so to go with this field, or these 2 fields. So I figured let's just double what we'd earned at the start of this, which is about $45,000 where we started, so we've put about 10 grand more in the account. So conceivably say by the end of harvest we might be at $90,000. Might be a little bit optimistic, but let's say we'd got to $90,000. We could have made $180,000 there or thereabouts if we were selling the crop at the right time, which says to me we could quite easily spend $90,000 on some grain bins, on some walkers, and a bit of a setup there to maximise the profit we could make, and we'd recover that money within a year. So I'm going to put that to Uncle and Aunt, see what they have to say about it, and if it's a goer, we'll have to go and see what we can do about getting some money for that, or whether we use and reinvest the money we have earned on this harvest, make sure next harvest we earn even more. I was thinking 3 bins, something around 7,000 bushels will be more than enough for what we're doing at the moment. Obviously we want to future-proof the farm a little bit and maybe have a little bit more capacity, but 3 7,000 litre bins should be enough. $16,500 each is what I've been quoted for those already, so that's about $50,000 on bins. Let's say we budgeted $20,000 or $30,000 on augers, that's an $80,000 spend, and we'd recover that easily in the first year. So like I said, I think it's a no-brainer. That's the first part. The hard part's going to be convincing Uncle and Aunt to part with that money, because obviously they weren't feeling too flash about things, and that's part of the reason why we're here helping them out, because they didn't think things were going as well as they could. Maybe that's one of the motivations when we put those numbers to them to turn things around. Anyhow, we're well and truly into the field here. We've got lots of rows still to do, so we'll crack into it, keep on moving, and we'll catch up with you when we're a bit further through again. At the risk of sounding like I'm complaining, this field has just gone on and on and on, which is fantastic. It means we've actually ended up with quite a bit more corn than I was expecting. I thought there might have only been a couple of truckloads left about 2 truckloads ago, and we've definitely got at least one more. And what we've got here in the combine, unfortunately, again, I'm not going to complain, it's probably a good thing, but we're not going to be able to get this all down to the sell point in one load. We are going to have to run the truck down, get that unloaded, and then come back and empty the combine out, which is going to just slow us down a little bit. I was hoping that we could have run back over to the farm and put the soybean header on and everything like that. Of course, no trailer or anything to bring the header to the field. We've got to go over to the farm to pick it up, but there we go. Gonna get the last one? Yes, all done. Right, so that's corn finished for this season. And yeah, like I said, it's worked out better than I was expecting. And the combines just keep going. It's kept going and going and going, which is great. No issues or anything like that, apart from the fact it is getting rather filthy. So certainly something there that we'll have to do once we're all finished, which is give everything a very, very good clean down, good wash off, and get it looking nice and tidy and put it away. Just have a look here, see how far we're going to get with filling the truck up. I don't think we're going to get the last in. No, what is there? 163 bushels, so still quite a bit left in the combine, but we'll leave that there. It was handy being over the side of the field because we've got the access straight out onto the road there. So let's head on down. We'll go and get this one unloaded, and then we'll get back here, take the last little bit down to the sell point. And while we're doing that, I'm sure Uncle will be able to go and swap the headers over and get over and make a start on the soybeans. Well, back over here, all the corn delivered. I'm making a little bit of a shortcut here through the field. And it does, there we go, it looks like Uncle has got the combine over here and ready to go, which is fantastic. Now, once again, we're going to have to jump in and drive that because Courseplay is just not playing nicely with us on these fields, which is a little bit of a shame. I'm not complaining, getting to drive the combine for a while. It's been working out well, but it would have been nice to be able to spend a little bit of time here in the truck, keeping things unloaded and running. So anyhow, we'll make the most of it here while we can. And we'll get into it and carry on. Shouldn't take too long. In fact, I don't even reckon we will get one full load out of this. It'll probably just be a single truckload, which will make it a little bit easier. We don't have to worry too much about waiting for the truck or anything to get here and back. It's terrible, terrible wheel marks. I hope I left the hope they left the truck in gear. I'm pretty sure I did. Right, carry on, get this field done, and we'll see you when we're finished. Only a few metres to go and we'll be finished our harvest for the year, which has gone by incredibly fast. Obviously we don't have the hugest amount of fields or anything like that, but it's going to be nice to see the back of this. Give us a benchmark of exactly where the farm's going to be sitting, how much money we've made off the crops we've harvested this time and sold direct to market, and give us a bit of an idea on where we can improve things. And like we've already talked about, we've got a number of things that we can do which will be better for the farm. But there we go. Look at that. I love this field actually. I like this down by the river, and I've actually, while I've been driving around here, seen a lot of wildlife, a lot of deer. I'm sure there's some fish in that river. What do you reckon about setting up a lodge down here, a hunting lodge? Hunting and fishing. I wonder if there's a bit of land over there near the road. I wonder if we could lease that out to someone who might want to set up a lodge. Anyhow, I think we're getting a bit carried away with the potential ideas for the farm. So let's head on back down. We'll go and get this emptied into the truck. We've put one load in already, and we will go and get that unloaded, get it sold, and get everything packed up back over at the yard. We've ended up with about 427 bushels of soybeans off that field, so not a bad amount, 60% here in the truck. We'll go down, we're just about at the sell point, GW Grains I think it was, the one we came down to with the other soybeans, opposite direction from town, and we'll get down here and get this sold, and we'll see what we end up with. I think we're going to be a little bit short of my estimate of 90,000 off our harvest, but maybe not too far, maybe closer to 75, but let's go and have a look, get this unloaded, and then we'll see. Last few beans here, and we will see what we've ended up with. Pretty much bang on $79,000. So about 10 grand less than I was expecting, but let's say we double that, 80 grand, an extra 80 grand. We can invest that $80,000 that we'll make off next season in a few new bins and a couple of augers, and I think that will be a great setup. I haven't even talked about or thought about corn drying or anything like that. That's something else we could really consider, looking at the difference between the wet corn we've been selling and what the dry corn price could be, and we could even look and say, well, we're going to harvest a few thousand bushels of corn each year, maybe we should be getting a dryer as well. So more to consider. Let's go through and do a little bit of maths as well on the potential yield increases we can get through the agronomist. But we'll be talking to them very, very soon, because now that we've got harvest out of the way, we need to start thinking about where we can expand fields and what we need to do to make sure we're doing the best we can with the soils and with fertiliser, lime, all those kind of things to really give the crops a good boost for the next season. And that's going to be a separate sort of question mark on how much we invest in that versus how much the potential return will be on it. So lots to think about in the not too distant future. But for today and for harvest, we are all done. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.